This Tanya is for this Shabbos, recorded before Shabbos,
Not me.
but this is for Shabbos, the 11th of Av, the 25th of July. Iggeres hakodesh, Epistle 4. In today's lesson, why is it that when giving hard-earned tzedakah we don't experience its transformative power, which potentially unleashes the inner depths of one's godly soul? And how to achieve this transformation? However, it is well known that an arousal from above comes only in response to the arousal from above. The arousal from above comes only in response to an arousal from below. Modas Zos Ki isarusa dil ela Ki ba isarusa dil tata davka. A man's soul is stimulated from above only in response to the spiritual service that he initiates here below. Even an effusion of divine benevolence that comes exclusively from above and can neither be brought into being nor drawn down by man's service alone also awaits a previous arousal from below. Bivchinas ha'alas la'as ma'in nukven, as an elevation of my nukven, an example, by an arousal of the feminine waters, by which the recipient elicitates the mayin duchrin, the downward flow, masculine waters, emanating from the giver, i.e. Hashem. Kamo sha'amru, Rabbi Seinu Zechrinam Levracha, ein tipa yeredes mil maila hulu. As our sages of blessed memory said, no drop of rain descends from above without two corresponding drops first ascending from below. V'lachein tzarich ha'adam la'asos ba'atzmai techinlas mila zo. A man must therefore perform the beginning of this milah by himself. Lahasir arlas halev uklipa galsa v'dafka hamalbishos kasois al bechinas nekudas penimius halev. To remove the foreskin of the heart and the coarse and thin husk which clothe and cover its innermost point. Shehi bechinas ahavas Hashem, bechinas laman chayecha, shehi bagalus besavos olam hazeh. This innermost point being a love of God in the spirit of the phrase, for the sake of your life. An example, a love that springs from an awareness that godliness is the person's entire life. This love of God being in exile among the desires of this world. Shehem gam kain bechinas laman chayecha. These physical desires likewise exist in the spirit of the phrase, for the sake of your life. Bezel umazeh kagnizkar la'el. In that aspect of the universe which is the opposing counterpart to holiness, as mentioned above. It is thus possible for an individual to be so dedicated to his passions and desires that they are his entire life. For just as this state exists in holiness, it also has its counterpart in the opposite direction, whereby one is immersed in desires to the innermost core of his heart and being. V'hayinu al yadei nesinas hatzedakah LaHashem mimamoinoi shehu chayusoi. And this removal of the spiritual foreskin is achieved by giving charity to Hashem from one's money, which is his vitality. It has been noted earlier in Part 1, Chapter 37, that since money enables a man to purchase life's essentials, parting with it in favor of charitable ends is equated to giving his very vitality to God. Obifrat mi shemzoinoisav mitzum tsaimim udchika le shatatuva. Oh yeah, thanks. Especially with a person whose income is limited and who is very hard pressed at the time. Shenoisein mechayan mamish. For when he gives his very life. Avifratus im nehene migia kapav. This is especially so if he supports himself by the toil of his hand. Shehi efshar shaloi asak behem pamim rabois bivchinas nakudas panimias halev meum kadeliba. For it is impossible that in his work he did not often involve the innermost point of the heart, the depth of his heart. Kamin hag ha'olam iskehem b'masa umatan okai gavna.
Maybe we heat them up right before translating.
As the way of the world when people are occupied with business and the like. V'ha'reyata ha'pam kishem fagzer migio. Thus, now that he disperses the fruits of his toil unstintingly, despite his circumstances, v'noisen laHashem v'simcha uvtuv levav, and gives unto Hashem with joy and with a gladsome heart. Hine bezeh poder nafshei mishachas. He thereby redeems his soul from the pit. Dahayenu bechinas nakudas panimius levavoi shehasa bivchinas galus b'shivya basoicha klipa gasa odaka. That is, he redeems the innermost point of his heart, which was in a state of exile and captivity within the coarse or thin klipa. Kamoshakasuv mikol mishamar nitzor libecha. For thus it is written, guard your heart with the greatest diligence, i.e., guard your heart from every mishmar. Mishmar perush Beis ha-asurim, mishmar meaning a prison. The verse is thus exhorting us to guard our hearts from being imprisoned and exiled in klipa and desires. V'ata nifde me'achit sonyos b'tzedaka zo. Thus, through present charity, the innermost point of the heart is now redeemed from the forces of evil in which it had been imprisoned. V'zeh gam kein lashoin periya inyan priyas hov shenischayev v'nishtabed lechitzonius shemashlu voy al nakudas panimius levavoy. This also explains the term priya, which suggests piriyat chov, removing a debt. For the individual in question had become indebted and subjected to the forces of evil that had ruled within him over the innermost point of his heart. V'zehu v'shaveha b'tzedakah. Through this we can understand the meaning of the above quoted phrase, and her former spiritual captive shall be redeemed through tzedakah. Your inner core is often tied up to your hard-earned money. Giving charity from this money is giving from your inner core to Hashem.